stairway here is unique in that this house style was a common house plan during those times. This room, these two rooms that I showed you, did not open up and come up this way as it is now. The original plan was you had to go out the door and come through this door and come up a very steep steps to get up to upstairs. Like I say, it was a very common way, and we wanted to open it up a little more, plus the stairs were rotted and everything, so this my husband fixed it. I tell people, come up like you're climbing a ladder. And as you can see, you see a lot more of what looks like old lumber, because it is. It's the original wood. Behind these, you would find, and I don't think we have anywhere where you can see it. Maybe if you look right here, you can see a log. That's how they built this when they built it. They just took a tree and took the little logs that were like this and did them like this and wedged them together. And lo and behold, 140 years later, when we got the house, that's what was behind all this. And we took down these, some of them, these, and that's how we know what was under there and could see them. And then my daughter and I spent one whole winter insulating this building because they didn't have any insulation back in those days. And this is where a lot of the kids would have slept. It was just open like this when we got it, and there was a little partition coming from right here out, and it had just some like tobacco sticks or sticks, and that's where they hung their clothes. Their wardrobe consisted of very few pieces of material, not like we have now, like we have 50 pair of jeans or something. So you have keepsakes up here. We have remnants of what the Union uniform, which Frances Marion wore. You have old dresses like that they would have worn back in those times. A saber of that era, because Frances Marion fought for the Union. Roberts line fought for the Union. And we bought that uniform because my husband was going to dress up as Frances Marion one time, and that became logistically not kind of possible. So it hangs here now. It's for anybody who wants to see it. On the far end of the upstairs is where we have all of our military displays of all the Roberts. A lot of the Roberts people fought and served our nation, and we're very proud of that. So that's where we display a lot of that. The bookcases that you see there come from the old storehouse that Frances Marion had out at Roberts Switch, which is right out here on the interstate. Those were in an old store. My brother-in-law happened to own that old store when we retired, and he told us, I'm tearing the building down. If you want any of that lumber, you can have it. So we tore down. That again is chestnut lumber from the old storehouse that was Frances Marion's storehouse, and we built bookcases out of it. And now it's up here to display other keepsakes of the Roberts family. And the uniqueness of up here, what people think is kind of strange, you will see sitting here what looks to be like a coffin. That's because it is a coffin. There are two of them, this one and one on the other side. This one is my husband's and mine is over there. And we have them ready. Everything's already in them, our clothes that we're to be buried in. You have to understand we are believing Christians. We believe in God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and we believe when we die, you immediately go to the presence of the Lord. So this to us is not morbid. A lot of people think it is. We think it's just being prepared so our children don't have to go through the pain and grief and worry about when we are dead what to do for us. So we've made the decisions. They know about it, and they know we are content and happy with it. So anyway, my husband's sense of humor is, you know, you've heard of coffee tables. These are coffin tables. So anyway, that's his sense of humor. He has a very kind of sometimes weird sense of humor. But Rachel might want to catch some of the displays that we have. Each one of these, like I say, has a memory behind it. The bricks that are in this old everything, there's a story behind it. This is my father-in-law, Gracie Roberts. A huge picture of Clavis when he was in the CCCs. That's a whole nother story that people of that generation would know what it means. This here is a keepsake of out here on the farm where this house sits right now. The house sits here. There was a road, and when we got the land, when we were cleaning it up, this kind of stuff we found out in the lane and on the land, and I cleaned it up, and my daughter came up with the idea of displaying it in these. And so I have 4 of these from the farm of different places where we've found stuff like little bottles that don't have any, I don't know if there's stories behind every one of those from the people that lived here, but anyway, it's just a memory. That's basically what it is. An old quilting frame that was donated to the Heritage House by one of the Roberts descendants. More of the memories. And that about wraps up the tour of the so-called Heritage House. It was originally called the Harmon Young Lee House because he built it, and then Uncle Cub Coleman lived in it, so it was called the Uncle Cub Coleman House when it sat down on the Roberts Road. When we moved it up here, we called it Robert Switch Activity Center for a while, and it kind of evolved until now and I think it sticks, it's the Heritage House because we didn't really know what else to call it. It's just a keepsake, memories of the Robertses, and in this particular case, Joseph Roberts through Frances Mary on down through my husband's line. So, hope you enjoy it. You're welcome to come. 1 June is our reunion. Everybody's always welcome. I think there's plenty of food and plenty of fellowship, and I think you would enjoy yourself because you are part of the family. It's God, family, and friends. God, family, and friends. So come and join us.